Hello, friends. It is me again. I have I have fixed a couple of different things, and we can do a whole bunch of stuff on OBS now. So that's cool. But let me just go check YouTube real quick. See where we're at. Sorry about my nose. It's just it's been bad lately. My nose has been bad lately. That's all. Pop out chat. Okay. I'll put chat over here. And yeah. I think we are off to the races. I think we are. Let me just change this. Okay, how about that? How about that? And then OBS bot center. Welcome, first viewer of the stream. Welcome. We are just about to get started. Okay, last time we were doing. Let me just wrap up some of the work that I'm doing right now, and then we're gonna jump right back into what we were doing before. My apologies. But I'm just trying to launch this thing here. It's kind of like what do you call it? A package, like a CLI application. And what I'm hoping to do is, hey Duja, welcome back. What I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to make this program into something that people can just take and use, as opposed to like having to clone all the stuff down. So let me just wrap up this real quick, and then we'll get right into what we were doing the day before. How's everybody doing? Like, just let me know in the chat. I personally stayed up pretty late to code, but it is what it is, right? Such a fun time to be building stuff, and why sleep? You know what I mean? Okay, so it's doing stuff here. Okay, hopefully this will create a new package. So that partially, yeah, that's cool. Last night was kind of like an impromptu streaming session. I was not planning on streaming, but then I'm like, if I don't stream, I'll probably procrastinate and not build this. So let me just stream. I feel like streaming is a way for me to keep myself accountable. So yeah. Let's see. Are we back? Oh, we have a package now, guys. Homework grader. Yeah, that's right. That's me right there. Contributions with Claude. And shout out to Vikash for being a contributor. Everything that I built, you guys can contribute to it, and you own this too, obviously. What exactly are we covering here in LLM? This is a series of like every week we build something new. So this week we're in the process of building this tool, this web application that we put Claude Code on the cloud. So we put Claude Code in a sandbox, and hopefully we can interact with it. That's what we're trying to do this week. For the first 10 minutes, I'm just going to wrap up the work that I've been working on. So this here is a project called Homework Grader. So what it does is it allows you to essentially grade coding homeworks using AI. So usually if somebody sends you a GitHub repo and a link to their project, like the deploy project, you have to go and try it out, right? As a teacher, you have to go and try it out, and then you have to kind of like make some decisions and write some feedbacks for them. But usually the feedback says it's the same almost every time for everybody. And imagine 50 people, you gotta do it 50 times. So what I do is I want to be able to deploy like Claude to grade the homeworks based on what I want it to grade, and spin up like a browser, like a browser-based headless browser, so that the agent can like look at the application that the student had built and grade it that way visually. So this is the first step towards that, and it is now a package that you can install. So what you can do is you can say, I guess you can just install it like this, I'm guessing. Let me do this. Oh, not sure what that means. Homework grader. Let's see. Ooh, it's doing something. And it's failing. Permission denied. Alright, I suppose we can sudo this. Let's see, real quick. Oh, okay. Let me read my own README real quick and then see how do I start this. Homework grader. What? Interesting. Okay, so I try to run it like that. Maybe I need to restart this terminal. So I'll kill it. Do another one. Now I'm gonna say homework grader. npx homework grader. Oh! Very cool. Gemini. Notion database. Interesting. Let's see. How long will this take? Oh. Nice. And then I can go in here. I can be like, let me grade my homeworks. And everything works. Okay, cool. Seems like my application works. I don't have to use it anymore. But we can get back to what we were doing before, which is exit $13. Oh my god. Which is we're trying to build a what is it called? We are trying to build Claude Code on the cloud. That's what we're trying to do. Oh. Yes, we are trying to build Claude Code on the cloud. Let's see. So in order to do that, we need to go back to our GitHub thingy. Let me pull that up real quick. Where would that be? My GitHub, and then I'm gonna share my screen here. Code spaces with LLM pre-configure. Nice. So I go to projects, and then I'm gonna go to Claude Code in the cloud, and then projects, untitled projects. I should call this Claude Code on the cloud. Back. Okay, go open up this up. Okay, so what we have to do today is when hitting the new sandbox endpoint, install Cloud Code with an API key. Okay. Should be easy. Should be easy, guys, because before we've been able to create a sandbox for just a regular sandbox. Like it's literally just an empty sandbox. And what we need to do now is the next step is we create the sandbox, install Cloud Code on it. So I guess first thing we need to do is pull up Cloud Code SDK, aka Cloud Code hitless mode. Okay. What we want to do is we want to add this to our code base essentially. So development, and then cd to Cloud Code on the cloud, and then I just want to open up cursor from there. Boom, boom. Hopefully you guys can see this. But I want to add Cloud Code SDK headless, and then I want to add docs here, just like the other ones, so that when we use Cloud, it will hopefully read this and then do its thing as opposed to just do its thing. LM says hello from work. Stop watching my stuff. Well, watch it if you want. It don't matter to me. But let's go back to this. Let me crank up the brightness here. Go back here. Okay, so we have this ready. Commit real quick, so you guys get it and you steal my code. And then we go back here. Basically install. Like that's what we need to do. Cloud Code SDK install, npm install. Okay, so we just gotta make sure that E2B sandbox has npm. Does E2B sandbox have npm pre-installed? Okay. Yes. It does have npm, which is great. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just ask Claude to do it. Read docs from Cloud Code SDK and install Claude on the sandbox. When hitting new sandbox API endpoint. Alright, let me read the chat real quick. I am preparing for interviews from some time, finding it hard to know what things interviewers are focusing on these days. I personally become very dependent on AI in building something. I feel the same way. You just have to like, here's like my shitty life pro tip. Before you apply for a dream job, apply for like some jobs you don't want, and then see what kind of interview process they have. Ask people in the industry to conduct interviews, mock interviews for you, so you know what to look for, especially people who do hire. Yeah, I find mock interviews to be very useful. Depends on what kind of role you're looking for. You're looking for traditional software engineering, like back-end development or whatever, or front-end development, or you're looking for like an AI engineering role. Let me know in the chat. Yes, because like obviously those crowds look for different things, right? maybe let's take the example of front end and back end development, full stack development, for example. So I can pull from my own personal experience. We would just be looking for people who can talk about their projects. So if you have a project on your resume that is interesting, stood out, we'll essentially be grilling you on like how you built it, what kind of trade-offs you made, why you made certain decisions. The worst answer is always because I don't know, or like because I don't know other alternatives. The best answers are always I consider this and that, and I chose this because of this and that, and it has like be like a logical reason. For example, just about 20 minutes ago, I had to switch from Vercel Sandbox to E2B because I realized that for a CLI application that doesn't live on Vercel, like the Vercel ODIC token won't be automatically refreshed easily, and user will need to like have to find a way to configure this. So an E2B setup would be, it only requires you to put in your AI your API key, but for Vercel it requires you to like figure out a way to like put in like ODIC or like connect to Vercel CLI to get the ODIC tokens and stuff like that. So that's why I chose to go with E2B, so it's much easier to set up for the new user. So that could be like a good answer because you've basically considered alternatives and you make an informed decision of why you chose to stack. Like have a good answer for like why you chose to use Base, Postgres, OpenAI versus Anthropic, you know, stuff like that. Just not just because because it's OpenAI. Like don't say stuff like that. But that's for like an AI role. Let's see what it's looking at here. Fetch cloud code. Okay. Yes. And for like a traditional software engineering role, like I can only speak to like small businesses and startups because I've never worked for a big company before. Usually it's just a conversation, and then there's a code test, and if the company is cool, then they pair program with you, and you know they want to see how you work, they want to see how you approach problem solving. Essentially, on the other end, I'm just trying to figure out if you're gonna waste my time or be a dead weight on the team. That's it. Can you hold your own? Can you think through difficult problems and talk to me? Or you're going to be like, I don't know, stuck. Yeah. Hope that answered your question. Just check. AI roles, yeah. So if it's AI roles, all the soft skills still stay the same. And obviously knowing how to use different tools like Cursor, Cloud Code, stuff like that, and be able to use them at the right time, not necessarily relying on them to make critical decisions, is another signal. If you're curious, Anthropic has a guide to use Cloud Code in interview. So they have a standardized guide for when they interview engineers, and they allow engineers to use Cloud Code essentially. Yeah, let me send this to you. TechCrunch. So I would imagine other companies would do the same. Okay, absolutely. How's the day doing? The day is doing well. I didn't sleep a lot because I was up pretty late building this homework grader that hopefully I'll use for like a hackathon or some kind. Essentially an AI agent that grades coding projects by looking at the code and also looking at the deploy project using a headless browser of some kind. So let's see what Claude is trying to do here. We want the user to be able to input Anthropic API key on the front end. once user put that into the input box, obfuscated the value and have a little I button to reveal only when user wants to. Yeah. Put that in. How about yourself, Mal? I wonder where you based out of. Let me know in the chat. Always curious where my audience is based out of. Because sometimes I wonder what time is it in India right now. Yeah, it's pretty late in India right now. Personally, I like more DeepSeek than Gemini. Follow instructions better in general. Okay. I personally have not used DeepSeek a lot. I think that's just because I don't have a use case for it. A lot of times, I need latency to be low, and these reasoning models takes forever. So, if I need reasoning, I just use something like I used to use GPT like 4.1, Gemini 2.5 Pro, or Claude Sonnet. I normally I don't usually have like a requirement to use open source models. So not to say that they're not cool. They are cool. Okay. Okay, let's see what kind of abomination has Cloud Code written. Okay. Class SDK. Okay. Install G Cloud Code, yeah. But we need to pass in the API key as well. Maybe not at the installation stage, but maybe at the runtime, like whenever we run Claude on the sandbox. Yeah, export and topic key, API key, yeah. So we set that to like the global environment variable. Okay, it's cool. What else? Why is this like this? Okay. Okay. Where do we run Claude? Am I missing something? Okay, Claude version. Check. Okay. Run. Okay. But then we should probably run something like hello world. Question: did you ever produce something with AI that added value to your company? Yes. Yes. I'll show that in a minute. I produced so many things that added value, I think. I think that's one thing that differentiates me from folks who build tutorials a lot of times. Because a lot of times we have like the 0 to 1 examples, right? So for example, I built this. It's live, it's available, you can use it, you can pay for it. There are people paying for it, using it right now, some customers. I built this with my bare hand. Like took me like 6 months. I mean, I started a year ago, but then most of what you would see on the platform right now is like took like 6 to 4 months. But you can go in here, you can upload videos, you can process videos, you can watch videos, and yeah, and a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. There's agent mode. There's like code processing. There's like X-ray, which is one of my favorite thing. There's no X-ray here, but let's say if I were to go to a code video, like this one, for example. Then if we click on, if we click X-ray here, you'll get the content from the slide essentially. So there's intelligence, and you can ask AI a whole bunch of stuff down here. So it's really the entire thing about any tech example. I'm not sure I'm trying to understand your question here. Yeah, I think without AI, this whole product wouldn't have been able to to exist. I wouldn't have been able to build this without AI, because I'm essentially like OCRing every frame of the video and then like get content out. That also helped me create a blog, which I can write using AI, and also like
We're used to add.
like chat base down here as well, like retrieval, and then like a agent mode. Like all these things is AI. Can we start off some discussion over RAG LLM? Sure. Like, give me a specific question about RAG, and I will answer that for you. Okay, let me PM dev. Yeah, just feel free to ask anything about RAG. I'd be happy to answer that. Oh, let me make it more clear. I'm 12 years old. Answer, please. Okay. Feel free to ask again. If you're 12, kudos to you. You're doing great. Thinking about this stuff. When I was 12, I was busy gooning and playing Fallout 3, I think, or Fallout New Vegas. So you're doing way better than I did. Localhost 3000. Create a sandbox with Claude. Oh, I need an API key, don't I? Why is it not asking me for an API key? Isn't that strange? Well, yeah. Why is there no input field for the user to put in their API key for Anthropic? Then that would be part of the request to our API endpoint, which then later we use that key when starting Claude. Okay. Oh my god, why use server-side variable? That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. What did you do with AI that added value to anyone? Describe your answer in one sentence. What did you do with AI that added value? I use AI to code. That makes me more productive, which in turns brings value to whoever I'm building for. I used AI to summarize meeting notes, so it makes me more accurate and me more helpful to my counterparts and my customers. Hope that answered your question. If we try embedding full repositories, what should be the best practices that one should follow? I try embedding my server and web with some summaries and all. That's it. That is because embeddings are not the right way to do it with code. Code turns out to be very logical, which means you can do agentic search. That's alright, Mal. It's alright, dude. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so that's why a lot of the projects that I built that has to do with coding agents, I don't even do embeddings at all. But what I do is I just have an agent have tools to traverse through a code base. So like give it like grep tool, ls, find, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then give it the files tree, so it should be able to traverse. And the founder of Klein actually did a pretty good blog post about what does the founder of Klein say about using embeddings in code. I'll send you this blog post. Yeah, so you use AST, you use like these like trees, and you use like grep regex search. Don't use embeddings. That shit somehow is very finicky. Or you use in combination with vector search. Um, yeah. So let me send you this. So, oh man, I closed the chat. Let me bring back the chat here. Pop out chat. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so hopefully that answered your question. Yeah, like I wouldn't use embeddings as my first approach. I would just throw the file tree at it. If the code base is small, just recursively get all the content out of each file and then have one big string of the whole code base and then give it to the agent. And then what I learned was that the brute force way, a lot of times, because recent models are so good, that you can just do the brute force way and not do like the smart way. That's why AI engineering as a profession has changed from scaffolding all these things with like vector search and all that shit to like I guess more agentic stuff and on like the cognitive tool side of things now, as opposed to working with like limited context window and stuff like that. That used to be the case in 2023. One block you would recommend to focus on building AI agents for business personal automations. Please give examples. You guys talk to me like I'm an LLM. Depends on what you're trying to do. Like, are you trying to like build projects to find a job? Are you trying to like, you know, create values to businesses? Because if you are trying to create values for businesses, what I recommend you doing is, let me just get my API key real quick. I'll talk to you like this. What I recommend you doing is actually go talk to the businesses, see what kind of problems they have, and then from there, figure out how you can add value, as opposed to like, you know, as opposed to thinking about how you could, yeah, like how do you can create value? Like, what kind of problem you're having day to day? What's your day to day like? What do you hate the most? That kind of stuff. Like, talk to them and build solutions using that information as opposed to like what you think their job entails, because that's what most people would do. And building for yourself is another great way to do it, because it's a real problem. Nobody knows yourself better than you, right? So claw on the cloud. Yeah, nobody knows yourself better than you, so a lot of times founders would build products for themselves first, and they become their first user. And that's cool, you know? That's cool. Okay, so let me get back to y'all here. Creating values in this guy's GPT-2. I know you're 12, but just gotta be nice to people in the chat. Okay, so I put in the API key. Environment configured. Installation failed. I wonder why. It seems like installation failed. Okay, I'm just gonna pass this to our cloud. Also, there are lint errors. Boom, boom. Just gonna pass this in, and then, yep. Boop. Maybe we need to log out what's happening in our sandbox. Were you based out of Mao? Like, are you in the US, or where are you based out of? Interesting name too. If I try passing the entire tree structure of a large repository, would it will consume all the tokens, right? No. I've tried. At most, like a huge code base like N8N, like you get like maybe 50,000 files and lines. That's not the full context window of an LLM at all. Like today, Claude 4 Sonnet gets 1 million token context window. So you won't run out. You might have performance degradation, but you won't run out. So what you can do is you can, if it's like crazy long, you can just pass in the first level of the directories. So like the root directory only and all the files in it. And then your agent should be able to look at that and traverse through the different folders, read files starting from that root folder. The benefit of the agent seeing the entire files tree is that it can just, cat a file using the full file path right away, not having to like ls in 2 different folders. But if it's too long at the root level and like recursively at the child level, then you just give it the first level, which is the root directory, and then it should be able to like ls itself into different subdirectories. So there are many ways to do it. And then I think recently I realized that I don't have to build all that shit. I can just deploy Claude code and then it'll just do it for me. Like I don't have to write any of that logic. And I have for my other project, and now I'm just realizing that you just deploy Claude code on it and then just do all that for you. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another sandbox. See what happens. I don't know if it logs here. Okay, it's running. This installation still failed. Let me grab my API key again. So you gave us one service that you do, so why can't I understand? I don't know, it's your problem. What is your service? Why am I streaming? People stream for many reasons, man. I like to stream because I like to build things, and for some reason when I stream, I don't distract myself with other things because I know people are watching my screen. So that's why I stream. Where's my API key? Hold on. Claw on the cloud 2. Okay, I need to save this somewhere. Let me save this in my stickies. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Oh, I gotta collapse this. Yeah, everyone does things for a reason, right? And there's always the good reason, and there's always the real reason, right? So your job is to figure out what the real reason is, always. But then my question is, how do I save this so I don't have to expose my key to y'all? Anthropic API key, and then I'm just gonna save it like this. Okay, good. Anyways, have a nice stream. Yep, thanks for joining me, Mr. 12-year-old. Feel free to stick around if you want. We're doing some coding today, so let's see if I can do this again. Okay. Why do you keep saying that sandbox creation error? Okay. Network tab. Let me zoom in for you guys. So it failed. Why is it failed? Doesn't make any sense. Let me check if the keys are payload. Okay. So I did send the key. Success true, but then class SDK installed false. Hmm. Mm. For some reason, this is what I get after as a response packet. It's always false. Maybe we need to lock the server out as we go. Actually, I'm building a bot that can help users by providing non-technical plain English responses. I start off by building a rack system, but it often lacks context. Yeah. Think of rack as a search problem. It's a retrieval problem most of the time, and not necessarily like an LLM problem. When you use like vectors and stuff like that, that turns it from a search problem into a search / recommendation problem. So you get like fuzzy kind of like results. So typically when I work on a rack project, I usually just look at what kind of data people are trying to retrieve, whether or not the data exists in the corpus at all, and then go from there. So that should be your eval set. Would be like you ask maybe like 20 questions, and then you have to know for a fact that those 20 questions have answers in the corpus. And then you work on your rack system, either try like hybrid search or metadata filtering, all that stuff, until you get those 20 questions right. And then you watch how people use it for like a week, and then you get more data points you can work off of. It's never a one and done thing for rack. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Test the sandbox creation. Okay, let's see. Create sandbox. Okay. Oh. Okay, so something's wrong here. Setting up results. Standard output. I have like a fly flying in my face. So annoying. Okay, so it seems like it's got hung up here somewhere. Not sure why. Is it because we need a certain version of npm? This is actually cool. Import query from Anthropic Cloud Code. This is actually cool. See? I could just rip my entire code base out and just replace it with Cloud Code. It'll work just fine. Yeah, startups will be spending like a year building something and then just get replaced. Sub-agents. I wonder if... Why is it not working? Okay, I guess we can try it again. Let's start this again, maybe. Okay, installing Cloud Code SDK. Oh, still fail. Console log install results. I need to see what the object is. So let's see where that is. Oh, it's just this object right here. So exit code. Exit code 0, standard input, standard output. Start results. I just want to see what it looks like. Just want to see what it looks like. Does gaslighting even work for LLMs? 100%. That's called prompt injection. Huh. Wonder why this is happening. Subscription during station, installing Cloud Code SDK. npm install G Cloud Code. Does it not have internet? This is quite strange. What are we trying to build? We're trying to build the interface so we can put Cloud Code on the cloud. Welcome to the stream. So right now we have been able to create a sandbox, but we couldn't install. Oh, you know what? We couldn't install our what is it called? We couldn't install our Cloud Code npm package on it for some reason. So let me just go and take a look here. Like, what the heck happened? Is it logs, jump, npm? Usage, team, building, budget, sandboxes. There's no like what is it called? Logging for these things so I can see what's on the server. Still doesn't work. Try install another simple npm package and see what happens. So the error that we're getting right now is that we've been able to spin up the sandbox, but at the step where we install Cloud Code on our sandbox, it fails. And not sure why. So what is this? So we're gonna try to install oh nice. Cows say. So we're gonna try to install like some silly package on there to see if it's because of Cloud SDK or is it because something else. So let's do that. I'm gonna try to create a sandbox again. Console. Okay, so we ran that, and then let's go here. Testing npm with simple package. Oh, it can't. It can't. So it seems like I can't do this for whatever reason. What's the right way to install and install npm packages on E2B? Installs are only available in that running instance. Our new sandbox won't have them installed. Deep Debian sandbox are Debian based. BTK is available in the system. Okay. Sandbox.commands.run. I mean, that's what I did, right? Sandbox.commands.run, and then commands.run npm install. What the hell? Create a custom sandbox with pre-installed packages or install packages during sandbox runtime. Oh, interesting. Try to install with that G. I think we tried that locally, but it still didn't work. But I can try that again. Initialize a sandbox template. Specify the packages you need. Build the sandbox template. Now you can start your custom template. Okay. I swear, they do it like this. Let's see, sandbox.commands.run. You know what? It's probably the. Is it the G? Is it the G, guys? Oh my god. I think I need some sleep. I hope it's the G. It's got to be the G. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. Let's fucking go. Oh my god. Cloud code. Ah! What the hell? Okay, package installed. Getting cloud version does not work. How do I get cloud version then? Thank you, Kushal. You saved my day. Let's see. How do we? Yeah. Shout out to Kushal today. We've been stuck with this little G flag. Version. Yeah, there's no -- version. I think we just made that up. I'm just gonna tell Claude this. There's no -- I'm gonna try it myself. Version. Instead of saying that, what we can do is you can say hello. Oh, I need to escape this, but I don't know how to do that. Okay. We shall now do it again. And then hopefully it'll say something like hello. Jesus. Isn't this how it's supposed to run? What else do we want? Here, let me pass it. I've been able to fix the issue, but when I run Claude P hello, it crashed. Doop. Read Claude SCK docs again. One step closer, guys. We were able to install it though. One step closer. Okay, let's see. Node module. Okay. Package.json. I think if we don't install it globally, we can't really run it like that, I believe. So what am I to do, guys? Yeah. Because it wasn't installed globally. Why can't we install? For some reason, G flag when npm install does not work in those sandbox. The better thing to do is to create a template and then deploy a template so that we don't have to wait a little bit for like it to install Claw every time. Claw is right there, you know, just spin up and we'll start running. That'd be the best thing to do, is to create a template. What does it say? We want to keep it local. This does not exist, guys. This literally doesn't exist from our documentation. Like, we looked at the documentation, this does not exist. See? Just making stuff up, my guy. Does not exist. I guess we can do this. Okay, let's see what it's gonna do. So okay. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, it's running. I think. I mean, Claude usually does take a little bit of time. But that's taking too long. Oh well. I don't think it's working, guys. It's taking forever. On the contrary. Yeah. Yeah, it failed. What can we do here? Do we need to create a template? Is that what we need to do? It is the command line way. Kushal, look. Command line. npm install g. Just for some reason it doesn't allow the g flag, which I don't understand. Presumably, permission problems. Still has issues. We can switch back to installing Claude code globally, but follow this advice. Boom. Otherwise, we have to use a template here. Using their CLI and then create a template. Ugh. Hate. I think we have to do that anyways, but I just want to see some results before we end the stream today. And on a high note, you know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. Alright. Let's do this again. Oh my gosh, I hope this works. Installing. Oh, it's working, guys. It's working. Testing clock command. What are you testing, my brother? Okay. It should be faster than this. I don't know why. It's taking forever. It's like hung. See? Like hung up or something. Like why? We do send the API key over and reset it to the environment variable. Wait, hold on. Kushal, you might be right. Because it's trying to configure environment variables after. Which is pretty dumb, right? So, because we run Claude up here, I'd imagine. Hold on. Yeah. You know what? You saved my life twice today. I needed you today. Shout out to Kushal, brother. The problem is we set the API key after calling Claude. That could potentially be the problem. Whew. Okay. But then it should be hung up on that. I feel like there should have been a better way to do this. But it should be able to give us something like this if we get it right. Wednesdays are my meeting days, and I always hate Wednesdays. But then on days that I don't have meetings, I feel like I'm missing out. Yeah. Okay, I think it's been changed. Install Cloud Code SDK globally. Okay. So it's done. Set up variable. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's still freaking hung up here. Like, why? I'm still... Isn't this strange? Isn't this strange, guys? Isn't this strange? I should probably delete the oh, okay. Does it just say hello, right? Like, what the hell does it say? Yeah, like, what the hell? Commands run. Yep, I have no idea. No idea. Let's go on YouTube real quick. Cloud Code headless. E2B cloud code. Man, this is frustrating. What we could also do is we can write a node script to run cloud code, which is quite dumb. Yeah, this is what we tried. What the hell? Like, we can just write a script like this. Oh my god, this is so dumb. Maybe the environment variables is set wrong. I wonder if it has something to do with my Anthropic account. Let me just double check here. Okay, it seems like the keys have never been used. Oh, environment not configured. What the hell? gonna try this one last time, brother. One last time. I'm crashing also, like my sleep deprivation has kicked in. I am officially crashing right now. Okay, let me share my screen again. Let's do this. Wait, it's supposed to set the... Another thing we can try is we can try creating a template for E to B and then install Cloud Code on there globally and then run it. Man. Oh, there's a cloud folder here. Oh yeah, it's a good idea. I wonder if it's the way that these um
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? We are testing the fire alarm system. This is only a test. We are testing the fire alarm system. This is only a test. You do not need to evacuate the building. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm gonna mute my mic. thought they were gonna test the fire alarm, but doesn't seem like anything happened. Yeah, okay. Oh, now it's happening. Alright, I'm gonna hop on a meeting, so I gotta stop the stream now, but thanks for joining me today. It's been fun. We will tackle this problem tomorrow.